Good morning, good day, good afternoon to viewers from across the world. I want to welcome you to another broadcast of Hot Next Gen Career. And today, as usual, I have a multi-talented personality that I want to reintroduce to you. Her name is Michelle. But just before I bring Michelle on stage, I want to help you to understand Michelle a little bit. One, Michelle is a U.S. Army veteran. She served for quite a number of years in the U.S. Army. She went on to become an author of a very unique book that really helps students to make smarter, wiser, better decisions when it comes to their career choices. Michelle is also involved in real estate. She is one of the, knowledge base in the real estate market. But Michelle is also an academic. She has a master's degree. And with all of this, Michelle has made a choice that she wants to live her life to serve humanity, to serve young people, to serve parents. And with that being said, she has developed a very unique project, which is titled the Hot Next Gen Career LLC. So I want to now invite Michelle up so she can really talk to us a little bit about the great vision behind her movement. Michelle, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me here.
I must say it's always a pleasure talking with you. Not only because you have served, but I believe that you have a heart of service and you have really made a solid commitment that you want your life, the essence of your life, to make impact on the lives of students. So many students who are pursuing the career path, and on parents to really help parents and students to make better, wiser, smarter decisions when it comes to choosing their career. So it's always my pleasure to talk with you. Today, I want us to talk a bit about important things to consider when you are choosing career. I know one of the things that you often talked about is interest and passion. What exactly do you mean by focusing on interest and passion as one of the important factors to consider as you move into your career path?
Well, thank you. So there are some things that won't change about what you are going to strive for when looking for a career as a teenager, looking into what you should study, and as a parent. There are a lot of things that have changed, and that's the reason why I decided to focus on these next level careers, because there's so much information out there. It's rather confusing. I was a high school teacher for a long time, and I'm a parent of a high school student. So I get that there's way too much information and it's changing. But one thing that Gary hit upon that certainly can't or shouldn't change when you're trying to consider a career is that you really want to align with your own passions and your own interests. And it's not just me saying it or Gary saying it. When you're interested in what you do, your work is more fulfilling and you're more likely to get ahead and excel. So you really should focus on things that energize you and careers that align with your passions. But more than just Gary and I saying that, there's research behind this. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has a lot of statistics relating to the labor market, relating to jobs and careers. But they have reported that workers with higher job satisfaction and in careers that align with the interests and the passions of that person. In the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth, it shows that job satisfaction is closely linked to how well a job fits the person's interests and values. So when you link your what you like and what you're interested in and what you value to your career, there's higher productivity and there's lower turnover rates, and that's been proven.
That makes a lot of sense, Michelle. But can you think about this, that you take someone that has absolutely no interest in a particular path and you say, study this. It's like you're forcing information down their throat. They're only learning by force and they're likely only, perform by force. And that's not what you want. You want to have highly self-motivated persons pursuing their, academic studies and going into the world of work and being able to apply that body of knowledge. And as I listen to you, I can see what you're saying even relates to me. I've studied wide. I've studied financial markets. I've studied project management. I have certificates in project management. And guess what? At the end of the day, I know that my interest and passion was really marketing. And, after many years of bouncing around, I decided to just zero in into marketing. And I'm definitely making a kill there. And that goes to what you have said, follow your interests and follow follow your passion, and everything fall into place. Love it.
Mhm.
Michelle, you also talk about it is not just enough to look at interests and look at passion, but you also spoke about market demand and job stability. And I think that I really love how you expanding, the scope of things that you should consider. But can you take us a little deeper into market demands and job security? Help us to see this from your perspective.
Sure. Well, this is the one of the most important parts of Hot Next Gen Careers, where we are assessing the market demand, and in order to get to that job stability, we need to research, and we on our end are doing research on the current and the future demands for careers that high school students might want to consider. And we're looking into the industries that are growing or projected to grow, so I would offer that as my second tip is to look into the industries that are growing. Pay attention to the trends such as tech advances, economic shift, and societal needs that are going to impact the availability of jobs in the future. And back to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they regularly publish data on occupational outlooks, which is what I pay attention to, and I report back to people on my Hot Next Gen Careers, where they highlight and I highlight for you careers that are going to be in high demand and that will offer job stability. For example, I've talked about how the Bureau of Labor Statistics Occupational Outlook Handbook has indicated that careers in healthcare, in tech, in renewable energy, they are expected to see substantial growth through 2032. And I've mentioned about how a nurse practitioner is projected to grow by 38% in the next 10 years. And so that's far above the average for all occupations. So when you pay attention to the data that is presented online by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it does highlight the careers that are going to see substantial growth in demand that will offer stability. So with the research that I do, that you can do, it takes a lot of sleuthing, but I'll do it for you. We'll look into the trends of jobs in the market. What are the demands? And so where will these stable jobs be? We're looking into that for you.
Michelle, I want to commend you for the work that you're doing, the research that you're doing to really help millions of, superstars in the academic world to make better decisions.
It's
And
so
sometimes,
important, Gary. I'm going to just break in right there. Like you said, the information is out there. We all have the internet, but there's so much information. It's really hard to know how to put it together in some kind of way that makes sense and in a timely manner as well, because no one wants to go through what I went through or with you, what you went through in 20-year, 30-year careers that really at the end of the day got us just to another paycheck, didn't necessarily offer the kind of stability and the kind of financial freedom that we know is out there. And so we need to be able to break this down more quickly and into digestible. The high school students and the parents that we're reaching can make these decisions quicker right now. And they don't have to wait 20 years and 30 years and look back and say, you know what, I didn't do it right, because we're giving you the information now. You don't have to make the mistakes that you and I already made.
You are so much hitting the nail on the head, and I think what is really necessary is to do an academic audit. And I mean a global academic audit. You brought up very interesting point, which is a lot of academic all across the world, they're still working paycheck, paycheck, and that's not a promise. The promise is that, become academically smart and the sky is the limit. But for millions of people, they're still waiting to see the tip of that iceberg. Again, I really commend you, because the average person would have go after this information and use it for themselves and their close ones. But you have gone after the information. You have compiled data. You have written a book book, and you have now made a commitment to share this information with the world, and so as to help parents to make smarter investment decision in their children, and to also help children to also have a more open mind as they make their career choices. And I mean open mind from the deepest of sense, because we find that a lot of students today, you're choosing a career, and you're choosing a career because you have to make a choice. But in most cases, the choice is not an educated choice, where you know in the short to long term there's going to be job security, in the short to long term there's going to be income security, in the short to long term there's going to be upward mobility in the organization that hinted on some degree of self-actualization. And I do believe as we do that academic audit, all of this becomes relevant to the assessment of how academic in of itself is going to impact the lives of families and people. So I really love the work that you're doing, because I know the work that you're doing is going to go into all of this so as to help people, parents, children to be much smarter when it comes to career choices.
And it has to be now also, because we are running out of time before it's really just between the careers that we all know that used to happen, the doctor, lawyer, teacher, the careers that we knew are no longer around. So by the time that this generation that are in high school now are about to hit college, by the time they get out of college, hit the ground running to get into their careers, those careers might not even exist. So they are planning for a future that hasn't, those type of careers that they are planning for might not even exist right now, which is exciting, because we can look into new careers that we're doing that are going to be the hot careers of the future, which are going to be the exciting careers that also make a lot of money. So it's a great time to be looking into this, because these are next level careers that, like I said, haven't even existed before now. So it's exciting that these guys are going to be groundbreaking in so many levels. And I'm really excited for our youth and for their future, that they can learn about these next level careers and study for them now, or then when they graduate from college, they have these careers to go into that they'll be pioneers in.
The right career choice will give you and your loved ones security now and the future. The best careers at lower tuition fees. Next generation job security. Six-figure income security. Financial independence and a chance at early retirement. Hot Next Gen Careers, LLC, is at the cutting edge of next generation careers. Secure a brighter future. Contact us today for more details.
Again, I really enjoy talking with you on these topics. And only recently I was looking at what you consider a next generation career. And I see how that career completely replaced the old way of doing things. And let me give an example. Normally if the doctor has to do a brain surgery, they have to crack the skull and open and go into that skull, which means they have cut a large part of your forehead open. And that carries a lot of risk, a lot of danger. And that is the way they have been doing it for many, many years. And in recent times, there is this doctor, I wouldn't call the name now, but they have been doing research at a university, and they have been doing a lot of experiment. And what they're using now is brain wave. They're using wave and vibration to penetrate the problem point without cutting that brain wide open. There's a small incision, and they're able to tap into that. The beauty about all of that is that they run a number of experimental cases, and in one case they had a drug addict, and what the doctor spoke about is that as you go into the brain, there's a part of that brain that sends signal of a need for this type of drug, or it has been exposed to it. So they were able to make that small incision, go into that part of the brain, and send a sound wave to that, and 99.9% eliminate how that part of the brain responds to certain things. So that means you don't have to cut the brain to go in there, go to fix that problem. The other thing is plaque build-up, plaque built up in the brain. But to treat plaque in the brain is not the easiest thing, because there is a barrier to get into the brain. The blood just don't go through the vein and get brain. There's a barrier. But because of this new next-gen career opportunity that I know as time progresses you will talk about, they were able to break that barrier, penetrate it, and start to remove plaque, which helped with Alzheimer. Because as you get older, you start to forget things. So a lot of next-gen generation career path is developed that speaks directly to what you're saying. So again, I'm so happy that you have decided to take up this path and to really help parents, kids to make, better career decisions. You also talked, Michelle, about education and skill set. How important is this as one sits with, their community, with parents, to think about career? How important is education and skill set? Can you help us to understand this from your standpoint?
Sure. So we have to, when you're looking into the different careers, you have to consider what education and skills are going to be needed for that career, and you need to consider whether you are willing and able to invest that time and invest the resources required to gain these qualifications. You could look into other opportunities, like we talked about some places that will pay for your advanced degrees, like the military will pay doctors and lawyers for their advanced degrees, and then you pay them back by giving them the time. But if you're not willing to join the military, then you need to look into what resources you have and how much time and resources you have to invest into that career. Not everything is a quick fit. Not everything is a certificate program. Sometimes you legit need to have a degree or more. And so you should look at where you have existing skills, and then that could be a strong foundation. And then how and what kind of skills you need to acquire additionally, and then how difficult or easy that will to acquire those skills. Again, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they provide data on the typical education and training requirements that are needed for the various occupations, and they also give the median pay that you can expect to earn for that occupation. So then it's easy to see that the careers that require higher education and specialized skills, they often have a higher earning potential. For example, occupations that require a bachelor's degree or higher typically have a median wage that's above the national median. So that supports the idea that investing in education can pay off in terms of salary and job security.
Thanks, Michelle. That's an important point also, education and skill sets, because there's some career paths that you need to build up sound records, sound credibility with academics. I think if you want to be a doctor, you have to do the legwork, you have to do the studies. And so I love that information that you would have shared. Michelle, we also talk about work-life balance and how important is work-life balance. And very often what we see is that it's difficult for the average family to have that work-life balance based on income threshold. But let's talk to us about your perception of the importance behind career choices and thinking through work-life balance.
Right. So I became a teacher because of the work-life balance. I wanted to have the time that the teachers had. I like the teacher schedule. But now with some careers that are offering flexibility in work hours or the option to work remotely, there are other options besides being a teacher that offer that kind of work-life balance. So each individual needs to reflect on the lifestyle that you want and how your career choice will impact your work-life balance, just as I did. But now, like I said, there's more careers that offer flexibility in hours, the option to work remotely, and then there are other careers that you have to put in long hours or frequent travel. That might be something that you enjoy, but it might be something that you want to avoid. So you need to take that into and reflect on what kind of lifestyle you want, and then how these kind of factors will align with your personal goals and your family goals. The American Time Use Survey, it's also conducted by Bureau of Labor Statistics. They have provided insights into how people allocate their time between their work and their personal. And the data shows that certain professions, like those in healthcare and tech, they offer more flexibility. And there's a growing trend to work remote and to have flexible hours in those two industries. Then, of course, there's telecommute options in IT jobs as well. So these type of examples can offer a better work-life balance for many professionals if that's something that you want to consider. Again, it's all about you, but you have to consider which career you're going into, what that work life will look like, and will that work for what you thought of how your life will be. It's all personal, but you need to take it
Gotcha.
into consideration.
Exactly. And you're right, because, a young person, now getting into the workforce, they want a weekend for themselves. It's about connecting with their friends, and, it's about hanging out, it's about having fun. And so you need that balance.
For
Because
me,
very,
I learned Mandarin Chinese, and when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I was very interested in travel. The idea of working abroad, living in hotels was exotic to me, as I would imagine that the idea of traveling for work and going from hotel to hotel, jet setting sounds exotic and exciting for a young person. But what I hadn't considered, because I wasn't older then, it's always hindsight is 2020, that I did want to stop traveling, that I did not want to travel for work. I did not want that as a career choice of mine, to be constantly on the move. It was fun for a while, but if that's something that you want to have a family, travel might not be the best option for your career, or too much travel, or some careers you can look into how much travel you will incur with that career. Maybe some travel is exactly what you want, but that's something that you need to research, because something that you want now in your as a teenager or in your early 20s might not be something that you want for yourself in the long term.
great point. Michelle, the last point I want us to look at for today, we spoke about long growth and adaptability. Can you walk us through why that is important in the decision-making process of your career choice?
Sure. So planning for a long-term growth and adaptability, like I just mentioned in a small way about wanting to travel in my 20s. And then when I was in my 30s, I decided I wanted to settle down with a family, and travel really didn't have a place in my career as much as I wanted it before. So thinking about these types of to travel or not to travel, the choices that you have in your career, you want to think about a career that offers this kind of opportunity for growth and also advancement over time, because you want to be able to continually learn and grow. Not only want, but we need to, in a world that is changing and evolving so quickly. We need to be able to transition into related roles if need be. And it's a changing job market, so we have to be adaptable, and we have to be able to upskill in order to be able to have some long-term success with our career. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that the long-term growth trends. They give you the trends for various industries, and this can help when you're planning for a sustainable career. Fields like IT and healthcare and renewable energy, like I've mentioned before, they're expected to grow significantly. And so that offers a lot of those three, for example, career paths offer ample opportunity for career advancement. Also, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that workers with higher levels of education and training are actually more likely to adapt to changes in the job market. And that emphasizes again that we need to, the importance of continuing continuously learning and upskilling in order to be marketable and have that job stability that we're talking about.
Wow, I love picking your brains. All right, Michelle. Well, that's it for today. But just before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to share that I might not have asked? I want to give you the chance to do so now.
Thank you. So we were talking about I summed it up with 5 important tips to consider when choosing a career. When you thoughtfully consider these tips, you can make a well-informed decision that not only will suit your current needs, it will also set you up for success and a fulfilling career in the future. And again, those tips that I had mentioned are to align your interests and your career with your interests, and align your career with your passions. You also want to continually assess the market demand and the job stability in the careers that you're considering. You want to think about what kind of education and skill set is needed and how much time and resources you would need to invest into studying for that career. You want to really reflect on your work-life balance and your lifestyle that you want, and how your career choice will impact that. And then finally, you want to plan for this long-term growth and be adaptable, so that you're upskilling and you're ready for long-term career success. That's it.
Well, thanks for that share, Michelle. And I'm certain that the information that you shared today is going to serve to be useful to millions of parents and children who are now preparing for the academic world. It's not too late if you're in the academic world. You can pause a bit and do the assessment, because I know for sure it can save you time, it can save you money, and it can save you a whole lot of stress. So thanks for sharing, Michelle. I look forward to talking with you in the next broadcast as we try to amplify the importance and the objective behind Hot Next Gen Career LLC. Thanks again, and do have a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Take care now.
The right career choice will give you and your loved ones security now and the future. The best careers at lower tuition fees. Next generation job security. 6-figure income security. Financial independence and a chance at early retirement. Hot Next Gen Careers LLC is at the cutting edge of next generation careers. Secure a brighter future. Contact us today for more details.